Today we're taking a look at a watch that I've been after for a very long time. And I'm talking about a very long time, well over a year. Today we're taking a look at the Serica 4512, the California dial. And I really don't think I've been this excited for a watch in a long time. Like I said, I've been after this for a long time. I went through eBay, through Reddit, through Instagram, Facebook, different forums. I've even asked owners of this watch if they wanted to sell it. Nobody wanted to sell it, until Serica actually produced some more and I was able to grab one. So let's do a little bit of the unboxing here. Here's the packaging that it came with in the mail. And here is a box. Includes a kind of a personalized letter here. That's a super nice touch. But here is the watch. So a little bit about the brand Serica. Serica is a watch company. I think they're based out of Paris. They're in France for sure. I do believe they're in Paris. And they started making these field watches a couple of years back, and they became very popular among watch enthusiasts. The issue is that they didn't really produce too many, so a lot of people like me wanted one and they weren't able to grab one. After the first version, the first iteration of it, they actually upgraded quite a bit of different things, and they came out with this 4512. There are a few variants of it. Like I said, I got the California dial, there's a non-California dial, and a couple of different variations of the dial. But ultimately, like I said, they're a small company that produces very small batches of them that have really caught fire lately in terms of popularity. And I'm very excited to finally have been able to get one. And really, before I do open this, one of the reasons I am so excited is because there are a couple of things that I'm not completely sure how I'm going to feel about them. I think this is it's a unique watch, and it's a risky watch, and I really appreciate a small brand being able to do this. You know, something like a field watch, which is what this is. You know, there's a formula that a lot of people can go through and just pump out these field watches that don't deviate from the classic design that a lot of companies have. And I truly appreciate Serica going out of their way to try something a little bit different. And like I said, I'm excited because there are some things that I don't know how I feel about them. So only time will tell, I guess, and we'll take a look at those things right now, talk about what I don't like and what I do like. So first of all, the packaging. I do like this minimalistic packaging. I don't like it when brands are crazy over the top. It's very simple box here. And here it is. So right away you can tell this is not your usual design, not your usual field watch. And you can see how this is a little risk-taking. Normal felt here, normal box, nothing too crazy. So let's go ahead and take this out. Here it is. Dimension-wise, we're talking about the case is 37 millimeters, lug width 22 millimeters, thickness is about 11 millimeters, which is very thin and very much appreciated. The movement inside is a hand winding stop rod movement, which again I absolutely love hand winding movements. And the design is absolutely killer. Let's take this off. This holder here. It is up close. Very minimalist. The brush on the bezel is very unique. It really does pop. This uses a bond clip bracelet, which I've never really owned. I've heard about them, I've seen them, but I've never owned one. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. So here it is. It has a 200-meter water resistance, which is really appreciated, and a screw-down crown here. So what do I like about it? What do I not like about it? First of all, the dial itself. I love the clean dial, the minimalist dial. And one of the things I did not like about the original design, the original release, was a lack of branding. I like some text, very little text, but I found that my sweet spot was not a sterile dial. And if you can see right here at the bottom, it has a brand. I love that. I love that the brand is included in the dial without it being super noticeable. I love that. The railroad track going around is also a really nice touch. I believe there's a version with the non-California dial that is different, but I love that railroad track going around. The size to me is perfect for a field watch. The thickness, the fact that it's hand winding, I love that. The handset user, broad arrow, is for me the perfect handset for this kind of watch. High legibility, really nothing to complain about there. So now, what are some things that I do not like? And it's not that I don't like them, I'm not sure how I feel about them, and I think time will tell. But for me, it was a risk taking this leap when I don't know how I feel about them. The first and big thing is a bracelet. I don't know how I feel about the bracelet, and I'll be honest with you, my initial thoughts just in seeing pictures of it, I don't like the way it looks. I like my bracelets to be fitted at the lugs. This is not, but I've heard great things from owners and I'm willing to try it. The thing about this bracelet is that you're able to kind of adjust it as a regular non-metal bracelet, I guess, like a strap. And I've heard it's extremely comfortable, but I guess only time will tell with that. But I am a little skeptical of it. I don't like how it looks. I know they're going for that vintage design, that vintage feel, but to me they might be a little over the top, but I guess we'll see how that fits. The other big thing for me that honestly it almost stopped me from buying this watch was the fact that it's a hand winding movement, hand winding watch with the screw down crown. To me that seems a little odd because you're gonna have to unscrew it every day if you want to wind it. But ultimately what made me really change my mind and say I wanted to give it a try was the fact that this is going to be in rotation with a lot of different watches. So essentially any watch that's a screw down crown, I have to unscrew it when I'm going to set the time, because I have a pretty big collection, so a lot of my watches don't get worn 3 or 4 times in a row. So by the time I do have to get them, I do have to unscrew it just to set the time. So I figured this one wouldn't be any different. I have asked Serica and they have said that any threading on the crown here that might happen is covered by their warranty. So that's a nice touch there. But that was a big concern I had. And I guess again, we'll see how that one holds up. Very simple case back. Very simple design. I love this design. So let's go ahead and compare it to some other watches here. I brought out the khaki field. And to me, this is about as safe as you can go in field watch design, which isn't a bad thing, but it's a very safe design here. As you can tell, this is a small watch here. I believe this is 38 millimeters, and even then the Serica does look a little bit smaller and wears a little bit smaller. Though I do think it is going to be a little bit on the thicker side simply because the khaki here is quartz. Because again, very similar watches, but I just think this design absolutely knocks this one out of the water. I also brought out this other diver styled watch that's on the smaller side, and as you can see, this does seem pretty similar. This is a very popular reissue of the Timex Q. Here it is, and it's quartz, so again, it is going to be on the thinner side. But even then, the Serica isn't that much thicker than it, so that really does show the thinness of this watch, even though it does have a mechanical movement inside. Let's go ahead and take a look at the lume. So let's see. Here it is. I didn't know this before buying it, but I'm a little bit disappointed that the numbers aren't loomed. But again, it's not a deal breaker, though I do wish they would have done that. Look at that crystal. It's nice. So let's compare it here to the khaki. See, something like this would have been really nice on the Serica side, where even though they're small, each indice is loomed. In terms of strength, I don't think one is much stronger than the other, but I do like the Hamilton loom on this one more than the Serica. The Timex, the same thing. I do love the fact that each indice is loomed. So I do think the Timex loom strength is a little bit weaker. But I wish Serica would have done this with this watch. Here it is one more time. So really, I do have a lot of questions about this one that I think time will tell. If there are anything I didn't answer, please feel free to leave questions in the comments, and I'll get back to you and try to answer them as best as I can. I'm really excited about this. I think this is going to be a keeper for a very long term. Oh, I forgot to mention the price on this is about $650, depending on shipping and where you're located, what country, and taxes and duties and things like that. So it's not the cheapest watch out there, especially in field watches. But because it is a micro brand, I am willing to take a chance on it. So I guess time will tell on this one. And like I said, any questions, put them in the comments and I'll answer them as best I can. Let's throw this on the wrist to see how that fits. So on the wrist, this just wears incredibly well. It's fantastic. It's extremely comfortable. It's small but substantial. It's very, very legible. I gotta say, the bracelet really is incredibly comfortable. It feels like I'm wearing a regular strap on this. So I will give this bracelet another chance. I'll give it a long-term chance and see how that holds up. But my initial thoughts are absolutely fantastic on this bracelet and the way this watch wears. Super excited about this one.